Hello friends, and welcome to today's video. Hello, and in today's video, I am going to make my last straight characters. Okay, so I've been, this started off as like a joke, not like a joke, but way back in 2020, or 2021, I'm pretty sure it was 2020, but I might be wrong. Me and a friend of mine that are still friends were talking and was like, Mia, you don't have any straight they're all lesbians. And I was like, yeah, you know what, that's kind of a weakness. And or they aren't dating anyone else. And then I was like, okay. And then I made these characters, and they have a whole thing that I kind of remember. It's a demon and a fallen angel. Oh, wow. The whole thing was there's like a cult in the town, and they're trying to investigate it. So I don't remember much of it other than that, and that there's like this heavy like Bible Belt vibe to the small town, and it's not set in current times. It's set in like the 80s. And that's all I could remember about it. If you're asking me now, I was obsessed with it for a hot minute, but then the idea kind of just dropped off. But I decided I didn't know what to do for this week, and I didn't want to do another art fight video. So I was like, well, why don't I just redesign these characters? And why don't I just make them lesbians, because I think that would be more fun, and women. That is all. So I did 3 separate, I guess, outfits, so the pre-fallen and pre-risen, so pre being rising from hell and pre-fallen from being an angel, what they are now, what they look like in the current story, and then their human disguises, which I'll go into each. But first, so for the pre-fallen and pre-risen, I did a pretty skimpy outfit for the pre-risen. It just makes more sense to me. I was a lot more scared to do outfits like this when I was first learning how to draw, and I was like, yeah, this character would wear that. She isn't necessarily promiscuous as much as she doesn't care about what she's wearing and what she's showing off. The other character that's an angel, I based it off of just like Roman robes and silk, and because angels are no knowing of sin, of course they would have their everything out, like, how Adam and Eve were naked until they saw sin, and then they started wearing clothes. I gave her feathery bits for the sake of this YouTube video. And then I also gave her feathery bits on the shoulders and feather wings, because I just really like that in character designs for like angel and bird things, as feather wings. I think they're cute. I also gave sandals. I am very bad at drawing feet, but I don't want to ever be good at drawing feet, so forgive me. After that, I also gave a necklace, which if you went up close, it's a bunch of like diamonds with an eye in the middle for the bunch of eyes. For all the eyes. And then I gave glasses because I think it's just a cute little nerdy thing. And I switched, and I made her darker. So angels are out in the sun all the time because, they're in heaven and whatever, and they're flying around and like, ooh, sun, ooh, clouds. So obviously this character would be tan, at least to me. The next character is the demon character, and I think Mary was the demon character's name, but I can't remember. If you guys have any name suggestions, if I like them, I might take them. So if you want to name these guys, if not, I'll just go around on like name generators and stuff. But for the demon character, I did these in the original design. You can't see it too great, but I did these like demon thigh-high sock shoe combo, and I decided to replace those with like physical like hooves. I didn't do a full stator because I wanted they kind of look cute in a way because they're like booties, but not. I don't know. It's very like over, like, I don't know. It's like extra, but like in a bad way. But also this makes sense for this character. Because she isn't, I don't know how to make it make sense other than she isn't necessarily promiscuous. But I remember making her half succubus, half chaos demon. So obviously she's going to be a little bit of chaos and a little bit of hot, which is what I was trying to do. I also pushed to make a body shape that I don't usually do, which is like with those big hips. Yes, skinny character, but with the big hips. I thought that would look really nice. I also And then I made it to where instead of having naturally that pinkish red color, that she dyes it, because I think that's kind of funny that she wants to keep up her appearance. And it grows out when, you know, she doesn't have her hair dye. Oh, so she still keeps the pink, but it's not naturally pink. It's like that darky brown color. For the Fallen designs, I remember the angel character, the reason they originally got banished was questioning why. And that is why, like, I don't remember why what exactly, but they were questioning against the system, and you get kicked out for that. So that's what I did. So I did that, and then, so the wings are the feathers, and like parts of the wing that would connect to feathers are completely like ripped off. So there's just these little nubbies, and a chunk of the wing is kicked off. I think this looks more scraggly and more like damaged than just not having wings at all. Like it looks like you just got thrown through a washing machine, which is kind of what I wanted it to look like. There's a scar on the neck where the necklace got like ripped off and cut. There's the cracked glasses. The hair was cut. And then they get a new outfit. I don't know where they get these outfits from. I just didn't want them to be running around booty butt naked in the real world, so they got clothes. But I can figure that out if I decide to continue with this story. So the angel character got a blue sweater like the old design with a button-up dress that looks like a button-up shirt that I thought looked really cute. Another thing I should say about this is definitely like a fantasy romance, not like rom-com-y dealy. That's what I'm envisioned it as, and that's what it'll stay. For the demon character, I didn't have much of a direction other than tank top and jean shorts. I decided to make them alternative at the end because I was like, I have nothing. I have nothing. So you'll see me go back in and edit on some like black makeup and some gloves, and so that they can have these, so she can have these chunky boots that hide the hooves. So the way they hide, I like to think that they may not have access to magic for however, or at least the angel character may not have access to a lot of magic for whatever reason. So they have to use disguises that don't require hiding a lot. So folding up the wings in a way that isn't very visible, along with making the ear wings instead of turning them into normal ears, making the ears look like it's like jewelry, like, you know, winged jewelry that's just a little out there, but looks really cool. And for the demon character, I did the same thing, where instead of completely taking off the horns and the ears, they may not have, they use like a piece of fabric and wrap it around to make it look like it's a headband, so that people think, oh, it's just a headband, they're wearing a costume, or they're wearing that cute little accessory. It's not, you know. And then and they wear leggings to cover up the fur on their boots, on their legs, and those big chunky boots with the spikes, because yes, with a ginormous heel, that look like, if you're not looking close, you wouldn't even be able to tell that it's just a heeled boot. And that is their designs to hide from people when they're not hiding. They're not, obviously. For this next drawing, I wanted to redraw the scene that was initially shown. That I'll show it at the end of the video, and it'll be in the thumbnail. So I wanted to redraw it because I like the concept. I hate the execution. So some of my old art, I hate the concept and I hate the execution. This one, I really like the concept and I hate the execution. So the concept, because I remember drawing this, was, hey, I want these characters that maybe because they just, you know, they fell in like a forest and they found a little small town. Maybe they live near like this abandoned train area and they live in the train cars. Maybe, you know, it's getting near like Christmas or just that time of year where it snows, or like winter. Oh yeah, winter. No shit, Sherlock. And maybe, the demon character's never seen snow before and is looking out and is like, wow, that's really cool. And the angel character who has seen snow before is like, oh yeah, you're so cute, you're so funny, I love snow. That's what I drew. I also didn't draw them in winter outfits because I like to think, at least for the demon character, I like to believe that this character has the strong belief of a hoe never gets cold. Oh my god, I couldn't say that with a straight face. And that they run really hot. So, like if you touch them, it feels like she's running a fever, but that's just how she runs because you run hot because you're a demon. And maybe her blood is the temperature of boiling water. So if she gets cut and you're not careful, you could actually give someone third-degree burns, but it's not acid. It's because the blood's so hot. She's just that kind of warm-blooded. So I just kept it because I had that as a design because I was like, well, this character might get cold, and then I was like, well, what if they just run hot? And I was like, that makes sense. And I was like, yeah, well, that makes sense. Their blood's like fire or something back in middle school. But now I'm like, boiling blood? Now that's gnarly. So for the background, sorry, not to talk about the background, I zoomed it out for one. And I actually I took more effort making the railroad tracks. I live near railroad tracks. I know vaguely enough what they look like. This isn't perfect, but it's better. I just made a sketch with some colors on it for this video, but I might finish it. And then I added in the wheels. I made sure everything was out of perspective. I didn't use a perspective ruler. I don't know how this makes sense, and this isn't supposed to be like a flex, but I can rotate thing if it's a simple shape like a sphere or a rectangular prism or a cube or things like that. I can rotate them in my mind as to where I want them to be. I can see the cube in my head and I can rotate it to say, hey, this is what it looks like here, and this is what it would look like from that angle. In this railway car is just a giant cube, so I just did that. I added in a door with a handle, and then I drew in the poses. Oh, why did I sound so sad? I drew in the poses. Oh no! I drew in the poses, which was a lot harder because I didn't want them to just be sitting. I wanted them to be more interacting with the environment. And this character's giant hips or not giant hips, but compared to my other body types I make, this character has some hips. And I wanted it to be that way because I thought visually it looked really interesting. So yeah. I also aged up both of these characters because I think when I first wrote them they were teens, and now I'm like, they're young adults. I'm not dealing with, however, you're getting aged up. I don't want to put minors through bad things, so we're just aging you up. So okay, I should have gotten that one out of the. Anyway, I wanted them to be interacting more with the environment than just sitting, so I thought maybe making the demon character, instead of reaching out, maybe a little bit wary of the snow because I've never seen it before, so kind of curled up, kind of poking a head out a little bit, to where the hair is hanging out, but not really poking out, not sticking out a hand, and making that observation. And then I wanted the angel character to be maybe kind of nervous, so that kind of crossed leg, kind of rubbing the feet together nervously, and laughing or being oh wow, I'm happy. So you think that way, or them talking about the snow. The way I wrote the dialogue, I wrote little dialogue bubbles, and these are subject to change. It was wow, and the demon character is going something like, you said, wow, this is as cool as you said, and the angel character going, thanks, I'm glad you think so. This was my favorite weather back home, or this is my favorite weather at home. Maybe implying some sort of somber, oh, it's getting near Christmas, and angel and Jesus, and maybe homesick. You're sitting in this railway cart alone when you could be with all your little feathery buddies, dancing in a circle. That was the implication of that. It might have been a little too deep, but that's what I did. And then I shaded it. I shaded it just with an airbrush because this is just a sketch. I added in some graffiti that is okay. I added in the snow. Overall, I really like this. I might actually genuinely make this an actual finished piece. It'll take me a really long time because of all the metal, and I'd probably have to go back and fix past mistakes that I've already made that I can kind of see with the perspective. But this is the one I made in 2020, 2021, give or take. As you can see, the railways are super not even and weird looking. And this is the one I made in 2025. Yes, my handwriting is bad. Yeah, and it says, for those of you who cannot read it, it says, I'll pause it. Sorry, instead of scripting, I watch my videos back. So it says cool as you said, and then it says, I'm happy, it's my favorite weather back home. Okay, basically what I just said earlier. Sorry, my handwriting is like hieroglyphics, but it's okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.